evening. Oh, good evening. I'm Chelsea Lawson. I'm the director of choirs here at AC Flora, and I'm also the head of the piano department.
And my name is Kevin Sweat, and I'm the director of bands. And we are so excited to have you here tonight at Improv and Ivory's, a piano and jazz experience. This is the first annual concert of its type here at AC Flora, and we are so excited to have you here. And I wanted to take a brief moment to express my sincere thanks to our theater services department, who is here working the lights and the sound. So can we give it a round of applause for them? Tonight, you're going to get two very different styles of music. You're going to get a more classical approach in the first act, and then we're going to have a big old party on stage, and it's going to be so much fun with our jazz band. One of the things that we, as you parents know, music is expensive, and we would love any and all donations to help our students take it to the next level. So at the end of the concert, in the lobby, there will be a trombone case, and you're going to fill the trombone case with your donations. And we are so excited again to for you to be here with us. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Lawson for a couple more announcements, and then we will get this show started.
All right. Also, when you came in, there is a table with some flyers, and the flyers have a QR code on them. If you scan that QR code, you will have access to the full program. We're starting with the piano department, and then there will be a brief intermission, and we'll then hand it over to our jazz band. Every piece is listed in order, and all of the performers' names are listed in the program as well.
And in addition, I would like to ask that there is no flash photography. Tonight's concert is being live streamed on Definite Fiction. Thank you to Mr. Jeff Rhodes for being here tonight. Let's give it up for Definite Fiction and Jeff Rhodes. So this concert will be shared via email to all of you to share with your family and friends and people who aren't able to be here tonight. So once again, welcome and thank you for being here.
And we hope you enjoy Improv and Ivories. Let's give these amazing musicians another round of applause. This is only the second year that we have offered piano classes here at AC Flora, and I'm really so proud of the passion that these students come into rehearsals with, and the dedication and their commitment to musical excellence. It's really inspiring and really heartwarming to work with them every day. So I'm super, super proud. We had students from both Piano 1 classes and Piano 2 classes on stage tonight. So very, very proud. We're going to take a brief intermission to set up for jazz band. Thank you again for being here.
The AC Flora Falcon Jazz Ensemble. Give it up one more time. That featured Mr. Micah Butler on the alto saxophone, Mr. Leandrew Butler on the tenor saxophone, Mr. William Simmons on the flugelhorn, Mr. Jonathan Fawcett on the valve trombone, and our percussion section. Give it up for those solos one more time. Are y'all ready to have some fun? I can't hear you. Okay. We're going to slow things down a little bit. The next chart is entitled, I like to call it our staple song. We played it at JPA this year. It is entitled A Falcon Soars. We hope you enjoy. That will feature Mr. Max Maynard on the trumpet and Mr. Leandrew Butler on the alto, or the tenor saxophone, and Mr. Hyatt Lee on the Rhodes organ back here. play our next chart, I want to take a moment and just to thank one person in particular. As many of you already know, we have been extremely blessed here at AC Flora this semester in our band department to have an amazing student teacher. I don't think anyone gets any better than Mr. Mason Collins. And I don't say that lightly just because he was my student at one point. I say that because he's become more than a student. He's become a colleague and a friend. And I think the students on stage can agree. Can we give it up for Mr. Collins? Mr. Collins is going to come out and conduct this next piece just like he did in Spain. This next chart was made famous by a multitude of artists, one being Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra. And we are going to feature a vocalist from our choir department, Miss Kim Foyle. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Mason Collins and Mr. Kim Foyle, or Miss Kim Foyle. My God. Our next selection is going to be another ballad, and when we were selecting music for this concert, we decided to go back since I've been here to Flora and play some of the jazz band charts that have always been in our repertoire. So this next song was our first ballad that we ever played with me being here at Flora, and it's entitled Misty by Errol Garner, and it's going to feature Mr. Max Maynard on the trumpet. It's going to feature Mr. Micah Butler on the alto saxophone. This is Misty by Errol Garner. We hope you enjoy. Okay. Have you had fun tonight? Oh, let's try that again. Have you had fun tonight? There we go. Well, this next song is about as funky as a song can get. And this song is going to make you want to get up out of your seat and dance and tap your toes and jump and holler. And I encourage all of that. All right? So if the Spirit leads you to do that, please do. We're going to feature a ton of people on this, and I had to pull out my phone to make sure I don't get anyone wrong. So, give me 1 second. And this last chart is Moanin', and it is going to feature Micah Butler, Lee Andrew Butler, Mr. Mason Collins, George Zalance, me, Mr. Kevin Sweat, Max Maynard, Trenton Ashurst, and Mr. Nathan Adams. But before we do that, we have several seniors who have played with us their entire time here in high school. And in all honesty, I don't know what this jazz band will be like without them. And I'm not going to get emotional because we're about to have a whole bunch of fun. But I want to take a moment and honor each of them. Several of them have already decided where they're going to school and have given me permission to announce that. And their majors. So I'm going to take a moment to honor them. Is that okay with everybody in here? Okay. So first, our lead alto saxophone player, Mr. Micah Butler. Will you go ahead and stand, Micah? And seniors stand until everybody's called. Micah is going to be attending Berklee College of Music and is majoring in music composition and production, something along those lines. Say it again. Electronic music production and design, okay? So that's what Micah will be doing, and we will miss him very much. And then next in our saxophone section, Mr. James Long on alto, second alto. Give it up for James. James will be attending the University of South Carolina to major in music education. And then we are skipping the trombone section because we don't have any seniors, and we're going to the trumpet section. And we have Mr. William Simmons in the trumpet section. Give it up for Will. Will is planning on attending Winthrop University and majoring in music education, so we're super proud of him for that. And then we have Mr. Nicholas Dew. Give it up for Nick. And Nick completed on Monday one of the toughest processes I've ever seen as a teacher. Nick Dew will be entering the United States Marine Corps as a French horn musician. So can we give it up for Nick Dew? He was accepted by the United States Marine Corps on Monday in this very auditorium. In our rhythm section, we have our guitarist, Mr. George Zalance, and he will be attending a college, yet to be decided, but he's planning on doing something with music. So with that being said, these are our seniors in the AC Flora Falcon Jazz Band. Will you give it up for them again? Y'all can sit. I didn't forget anyone in percussion, did I? Okay, good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Moanin' by Charlie Mingus. Featuring a lot of people.
First it's going to be Micah, then Lee, then Mr. Collins, then George, then me, then Max, then Trent, then Nate. Okay? Okay. One, two, one, two, one, two, three.
Give it up one more time for your AC Flora Falcon Jazz Ensemble. We've got one more surprise for you. We've got an encore up our sleeves. Here we go. We're going to have a party. You ready? Go ahead and sit down. So, the air conditioner here at AC Flora, especially in the springtime, isn't always cooperating. And one of the songs from the Caribbean that's a huge standard is the standard Hot, Hot, Hot. So we figured it was only fitting for tonight to play a little Hot, Hot, Hot. So we hope you enjoy. This is Adolphe Cassell's Hot, Hot, Hot. Anyway, featuring several people.
Solo order. I'll call out your name. All right? Here we go. Feel free to clap and dance and have fun. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, hit.
Once again, your AC Flora High School Falcon Jazz Ensemble. Thank you. You have been a great audience. We hope to see you back here for our band concert on May the 13th. With all that being said, have a great rest of your evening. Good night.